literally just got divorced. Are we done?
Hey Bessie, welcome back to my channel. Please take a moment to subscribe to my YouTube channel and like the video. So today we're talking about a topic, hard lessons from failed marriages. Okay, so people are sharing their experience in divorce. So marriage can be beautiful, but when it falls apart, the lessons can be brutal. Looking back, there are hard truths that stand out, things that could have changed everything, or at least made the endless less painful. So I'll put the videos together so that you watch and learn. I'll be back to share my true sense.
I literally just got divorced. Are we done? I don't ever have to see him again. That was so hard. That was so painful. I couldn't look at him. I couldn't say hi. I couldn't say bye. I just walked away. The person that I loved the most in this entire world. The person I loved most in this entire world, you know? That was it. That's how the story ends. I loved him with everything that I was. And now it's done. Oh God, I'm fucking broken, man. I fucking hurt. I kept it together until the end. But I did that shit. I did that alone. I got divorced alone. I did it myself. I did all the work. I did all the research. Oh, I can't stop crying. Oh my God. I did all the research. I did all the work. I did all the paperwork. I did all the legal documents. I fucking did it. He was there when I arrived. Like, he was there early. And so I had to, like, walk up to him. And he said hi, and just in the, like, most shameful tone. I was shaking for a while, and then eventually, like, calmed down. And I calmed down because he was the person that I felt safest with. I don't know, my brain, I guess that was like my coping mechanism, I don't know. But I stopped shaking, and then we signed all the paperwork and went in, and it was relatively fast. I mean, there were a few things that we were missing, like name and address for, so we filled that out together. We like stepped aside and filled it out together, and then we went back to the window and gave them all the documents that are, there's an ambulance. And I stayed strong. I stayed strong the entire time. I almost crashed. There's a lot going on. But I'm gonna go to the pier. I'm just gonna sit at the beach and take a few deep breaths. That was so hard and sad.
I was 29 with 3 kids under 7, living in a foreign country, far from all of my family and scared out of my mind when I initiated the divorce, separation, whatever you may call it, that actually lasted close to 10 years to finalize. I was scared. I was disappointed. I felt like I was a failure. I didn't know how to raise 3 daughters by myself alone. And a friend of mine suggested that I make a deal breaker list. So if I ever wanted to venture out into the dating world again, or find someone to spend my time with or share my life with, I would have a list of things that I would not tolerate and a list of things that I wanted in that partner. in the future. And so I sat there and I started writing down things. It was a little notepad, like that big. I still have it in my office. And I wrote and I wrote and I wrote, and I actually took up both sides of that notepad. And I made my deal breaker list. The things that I would never tolerate again in a partner, and the things that would make me happy as a wife, as a woman, as a human being. And as many women do when they go through the process of divorce, I started becoming hardened. I was angry. I was disappointed. And so I started going to therapy. And in one of my sessions, I took my deal breaker list. I showed it to my therapist and said, this is what I'm looking for. I'm never going to settle for anything less. And she took the list from me and she read it and she turned it around and she gave it back. And as therapists do, if you've ever been to a therapist, she was silent. And she looked at me and she said, you know, at the top where it says potential mate or whatever it is that I wrote, you need to cross that out. And I was like, what do you mean I need to cross it out? This is what I need in a potential mate. This is what I want and what I don't want. And she said, whoa, write your name at the top of that deal breaker list. Those are the qualities that you need to make sure you have in your person, in your heart, in your character, in your personality to give to that potential future spouse. And the things that you will not tolerate in him, make sure they're not in you either. And that hit hard.
Why I divorced such a good man. Let's talk about it. So in my marriage, I did a lot of covering up. I did a lot of covering up what my husband was doing because I was ashamed. I was guilty. There was something in me that made me believe that because he wasn't doing the things that he had vowed to do, that I was somehow at fault, and that in a good marriage, you cover those things up. You cover for your husband. You have your husband's back. You don't air your dirty laundry out there. You fight for your marriage. You stay in your marriage. And this is what I was raised in. This is the culture. This is the mindset. This is sometimes being a believer in a church. That's what's heard, is that you stay in a marriage. And so you hear about, granddaddy and grandpa and the deacon in the church got a whole nother family. And you hear about all these things, and you believe that as a black woman that you have to suffer first before you get to love. You hear the whole mindset of, granddaddy did grandma, he cheated, but then he settled down and now grandma don't want for nothing. That's because granddaddy old and crusty and don't nobody want him no more, right? So, but translated into my marriage, I thought that I had to cover up the things that were going on because in my head, I had what's called cognitive dissonance, which means that basically what I'm doing and what I believe are not the same. So either I need to change what I'm doing or change what I believe. And so because I had such a mindset that as a believer, you do not get divorced, I had to change the mindset to say, well, maybe it's something that I'm doing. Maybe I can, if I just, endure it, then he'll change and he'll become the guy that he was for the first 6 months of our marriage. And we're 3 years in and I haven't seen that guy again. And so when I filed for a divorce and when I finally decided that this was enough, I had so many people coming to me and asking me, hey, why are you letting such a good guy go? Hey, what's going on? I thought he was perfect and he was great. And I had to realize that not only was I divorcing the guy that was not good to me, I was divorcing the image that I had portrayed to everyone else. So now not only was I having to go back and tell the truth of what happened in my marriage and why it was going to divorce, I had to realize within myself that I was part of the reason why people couldn't understand why I was leaving such a good guy, because I had covered for him for so long. So if you're in that position and you felt that way before, then that's something that you have to own first and foremost, but not carry around, right? You were doing what you thought was best. You were doing what you thought you were supposed to do. And I get that and I understand that, right? And we move on, we grow, and we learn. Love you.
That's the video, guys. So I'm just also here to share my 2 cents, like what I think about today's video. So why um people learn these hard lessons from failed marriages. So these are the hard lessons which people are learning. Okay, so ignoring red flags never makes them disappear. Love has a way of making excuses for things that should be taken seriously. The little things dismissed early on can grow into deal breakers. Communication is not just about talking, it's about being understood. Saying how you feel doesn't matter if your partner doesn't hear or care. Assumption, silence, and unresolved issues create cracks that turn into unfixable gaps. Love alone is not enough. Chemistry and passion won't hold the marriage together when respect, effort, and emotional safety are missing. Love can fade when daily struggle are not handled as a team. Resentment is slowly poison. When problems go unaddressed, they don't disappear. They pile up. Small hurts, if you left unspoken, can turn into deep bitterness that destroy connection. Trying to change someone never works. Hopefully, they will grow into the person you need, or that love will fix the flaws lead to disappointment. People change when they want to, not because they're pressured. Losing yourself in a relationship is dangerous mistake. Compromising is necessary, but sacrificing personal identity, dreams, or self-worth from the sake of being keeping the marriage alive or leading to regret. Effort should be equal. If one person is always a fixer, the peacemaker, or the one fighting for the relationship, burnout is inevitable. A healthy marriage requires both partners to show up and put in the work together. Apologies without change mean nothing. Okay, mean nothing. Words are easy, but real accountability is shown through actions. Repeated mistake followed by empty apologies create a cycle of false hope and continued hurt. Divorce is not the ultimate failure. Staying in a broken marriage is. Walking away from something toxic or unfulfilling takes more strength than staying in a situation that drains the soul. So healing takes time, but growth is possible. A failed marriage is not the end of the world. It's a lesson in what to do differently, okay, next time. Understanding what went wrong can lead to better choices and boundaries. So I remember there was one time someone told me their story, okay? This person was married to a man. At first, he was a very good person, but when they got married together, they come together, they start staying together. This is when the lady started seeing his true colors, like his whole character. This man never showed this woman that I he loved her. No. The only thing he knew was mistreating her, using her physically, emotionally, and draining her in this whole relationship. Okay, so this person was a good makeup artist, a good one who can run a good business. But this man breaks all her makeup kitty and tells her he doesn't want her to work. But even if this person says he doesn't want this lady to work, he doesn't even give the lady some money, you know? So it was very difficult for this lady. Like, what am I going to do? So I started thinking, like, this is not normal. I need to do something for my life. Like, when I just sit here at home, I become nothing. So why am I living because of this bare minimum relationship? Okay. So she started thinking for herself. And one day she contacted me, explained her situation, and I gave her that advice. Okay. I told her that when you have money, a man is going to respect you. Right now, that man is not respecting you because you have nothing. Everything is depending on him. Okay, it's not like this man is giving you money a lot. It's only groceries, like no, go buy groceries, go buy this. Nothing like bank clothes, nothing. Okay. So you need to be independent. You need to make your own money. When you have your own money, you have a say. You're going to say what you want to do with your money. You're going to have a say where you're going to travel, what you want to do, what you're going to tolerate, what you do not taking in. Because these men, they're so draining, I tell you. So ladies, when you're choosing your man, You have to be very careful if you don't want to find yourself in these situations. Okay, these situations happens because maybe you're not compatible with your partner. Maybe you just when you get married and you start growing, you see that you guys just need two different things. Like you're not one a person. You don't like some things, so you choose like, okay, let us divorce. But these divorces, some of these stories we've heard, they're very disturbing. How men were cheating in this relationship, how men were um mistreating their wives, abusing them, beating them. Like marriage is not for beating. If you want to beat someone, you need to start boxing. There's a good way of talking. When someone is in a good relationship or healthy relationship, they're going to know how to talk to their partner no matter what. Okay, they're not going to mistreat them. If you love someone, why do you want to beat the person up? There's a special way you can sit down, analyze, and tell them, see, this is where you went wrong. You're supposed to do this and this and this is very important. Because even if she's a wife, she doesn't know all these things. Even if you're a husband, you also learn to be a husband. You've never been a husband before, unless you are divorced or something. But if you've never been married, you're all learning, and there's Ella, and you don't expect me to do everything perfectly. I'm learning, and I'll do better. I accept when I'm wrong. That's enough. Okay, and men should learn how to communicate with women. It's very important. Some men, they don't even know how to communicate or to with ladies, and they should learn how to show love to their women. It's really important. You need to know how to show love, how to take care of women. All these things are very important to know. Yeah, so there are a lot of hard lessons. Okay, when you're married, you have to put yourself first. Anyone who comes, make sure they are second. Because when you love someone too much, when that relationship ends, you end up thinking another things like you want to end it all and all that. So I don't want that to happen to you. I want you something good to happen to you. So guys, I think that's a video for today. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate. And all I can say is that please leave your comments. Leave your comments and let's discuss so that um we know the way forward. So thank you so much guys. I'll see you in my next episode. Bye.